Well, our next speaker, Karen Thomas, is a board-certified instructor of craniosacral therapy. Her holistic background and study of the human brain proved essential when her own son was diagnosed with autism in 2006 at the age of 10. And Karen will share with us the resources and solutions that she used to heal her own child from the symptoms of autism. She has put it all in writing for us in her book called Naturally Healing Autism. Please join me in welcoming Karen Thomas to the stage. Karen.
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. I've talked to some parents and grandparents already that have come up. I have a book booth right here on the upper level. And there are so many people that are affected. Autism is one of the fastest growing epidemics in the world. And what I'm here to do is share with you Ken Starr.
There you go.
There we go. So yes, as it was mentioned, my own son was diagnosed with autism. And when he was, my background as a craniosacral therapist, I've been studying the brain for almost 30 years. And this shows me that the brain can and does heal. It is a scientific fact. But I was told by the doctors that I should drug him and that I should try some behavioral therapies, and that would be about it. But I said, no, that's not what I'm going to be doing. And so what I did was I started researching, and I have spent thousands, countless hours of research and tens of thousands of dollars on trial and error, and I did figure it out. And what I've done is I put it in writing in my book. I'm creating programs, and I have my website. I have a lot of resources to share with other people because my son is now symptom-free, and that is what I want to share. So there are generally 3 stages, and what you need to do first and foremost is you've got to heal the gut. You've heard this already today. Healing the gut, stage 2 is heavy metal detoxification, and the 3rd is brain support and repair. So why heal the gut? So we talked about that a little bit today already. 80% of the immune system comes from the gut. So you need strong immunity, you need a strong gut. The other things that could go on, the neurotransmitters, which are called brain messengers, are built in the gut. There are things such as serotonin, which is responsible for things like mood, sleep, and appetite. Another neurotransmitter built in the gut is dopamine. It's responsible for, it's our feel-good chemical. It helps us to focus and concentrate. Anybody ever talk to somebody whose child is having trouble concentrating in school? Their gut is probably having trouble. The other thing is that Gaba receptors are made in the gut. Gaba's job is to calm the nerves down. And when the gut isn't functioning and the Gaba system is not functioning properly, then you see people with anxiety. Anxiety is a really common effect from that. So very important to heal the gut, to heal the brain. Also, toxins get through what we call leaky gut. Jordan mentioned that earlier, but some people aren't really familiar with what leaky gut is. The intestinal lining can become very compromised due to overgrowth of candida or yeast, which can bore holes in the lining of the intestinal tract. Other things such as gluten, the protein in wheat is very inflammatory and compromises the integrity of the intestinal system, and these things can bore holes in the gut. What happens then is the foods that are eaten, the nutrition is not properly absorbed, so even though food might be eaten, the nutrition from those foods is not getting to the system. Also, which is the really hard part, is that these toxins from undigested foods, especially the large proteins from gluten, which is wheat, and casein from dairy, get into the bloodstream undigested. These undigested food particles are seen by the immune system as a foreign agent to attack. So we end up with immune issues and autoimmune issues. But then also those toxins are making their way up to the brain, and of course the brain can't function. Your child can't function because their brain is completely toxic. You might even ask them to do tasks. They might be in therapies and trying to do tasks, but they're not capable of carrying those those tasks out because they are too toxic. Their brain is too toxic. First and foremost, you've got to support the liver. A lot of people start detoxifying too quickly without giving the liver some support. And if the liver is not supported, which is likely already congested in all children on the autism spectrum and many others, is that we start to detoxify, but the liver is already congested, so then the additional toxins are just backing up in the system, and you'll often end up with worse behavioral and worse physical problems than you had to begin with. So very important to support the liver. A simple one that I put up here is Liver Life by BioRay. It's a liquid tincture. Yes, I have looked for everything in liquid or powder forms if possible, because most people I'm talking to are dealing with children who maybe aren't pill takers. If something comes in a pill form, I make sure I find it in capsule form that can be opened up into food or beverage. A drop a day to begin with Liver Life is all you need, and then slowly working your way up. The regular dose on the bottle is 40 drops a day. You do not want to start out with that for your child, but very gentle, very effective to help start and support the liver. Of course, you want to also eat organic foods, and bone broth is tremendously helpful. I sell Jordan's product on my own website because I think that highly of it, and it's so convenient in a powder. It really is an incredible product. Bone broth is amazing for healing the gut. Other things you want to make sure you stay away from are, of course, processed foods and sugars and things like that will also inflame the system, inflame the brain, compromise the immune system, and compromise your overall health. So I have a free download, and I've made up for this event specifically a special page that you can go to so that everything that I'm going to talk about, you can get the link to it on this page, which is naturallyhealingautism.com/POP. So I want to make that easy for you. So there's a download on that, one download there that will give you 15 of the most important foods to eat, and then multiple foods to avoid as well. Step 2, heavy metal detoxification. We've talked about mercury, lead, aluminum, cadmium. We get these from the foods we eat, the air we breathe, vaccinations, and much more. But the key is you've got to get them out of the body, and the number one key for me, especially with children, is you've got to get them out safely. So the problem with pharmaceutical drugs, chelation therapies, is that they allow for reabsorption of toxins back into the system as those toxins are being excreted, and they also pull out all of the good minerals along with bad. So that can be very dangerous. One of my favorite products to remove heavy metal toxins safely from the system is with modified citrus pectin. It's been well studied. There's a product called Pecticlear by the company Eco-Eugenics, which is my favorite one. And clinically proven to reduce over 74% of dangerous heavy metals without taking out any of the important minerals such as calcium and magnesium. It also does not allow for any reabsorption of those toxins back into the system. I myself take it. It's not just for children on the autism spectrum. Anybody can take this product, and I highly recommend it. I also have a podcast, the many things that I do, and I interview experts all the time. And I've recently interviewed Dr. Isaac Elias, who is an expert on modified citrus pectin and on heavy metal detoxification. So again, this naturalhealingautism.com/POP, you can get that information for that link. Stage 3, brain support repair. Scientific fact, the brain can and does heal. Natural supplementation to assist the brain. Okay, first you want to heal the gut to heal the brain. You want to get the toxins out, but sometimes the brain is needing some additional support. So L-tyrosine is a natural amino acid that builds dopamine safely. 5-HTP is a natural supplement that builds serotonin, which I talked about earlier. Those are some things that can be helpful, but you really need to know your specifics and your child's specifics for their brain needs. So there's a free 4-minute brain questionnaire that you can do that will, once you fill out the questionnaire, it goes to the AVEN clinic, which some of you may be familiar with. The AVEN clinic will then send you back a full readout of exactly the specifics of what your answers to your own questionnaire or your child's questionnaire mean for you, and what natural supplementation would be suggested. And the Amen Clinic supplements are well formulated. I do recommend them. They're on my own website, and they're also on this POP link as well, how to get to the clinic. More support brain repair. Of course, craniosacral therapy, of course, I'm a huge advocate. I've been doing it for almost 30 years. Almost every, or not almost, but every child that I see on the autism spectrum or with ADHD, the temporal bones, which are the ones around the ears, are always jammed. There are specific things, when certain bones in the head when they're not in balance, they do not allow the brain to function properly. Very important to seek out an educated craniosacral therapist for your child or yourself. But I have a YouTube video I made with a couple holds that you can get a little bit familiar with, and you can even practice on your own child or your spouse or your friends, just to get you familiar with it as well. And again, my YouTube video link will be on that POP page. Neurofeedback, we had tremendous success with neurofeedback with my son as well, because I am local here. The woman that we saw is local. Heidi Seastrand is in Arroyo Grande, and I've linked her on the POP page as well that I'm giving to you. It's a way to sort of retrain the brain where it's been miswired. And I have created a natural practitioner resource guide. So if you've got a grandson or a niece or a friend in Minnesota or in Australia, anywhere in the world, you can look at the natural practitioner resource guide and be able to find a practitioner of multiple kinds anywhere in the world from that guide. Resources, I have a book, as was mentioned, and I'm still up here as well. Today I have a blog that is very active. There's a ton of free information on my website, which is naturallyhealingautism.com. I do podcasts, I have resource guides, YouTube videos, and Facebook. My Facebook is Naturally Healing Autism, and I'm asking you to please share this information, pin it, tweet it, post it, whatever you do. Share it with anybody you know or on your sites, because all of the information that I have gained and gotten my son better with, what good is it if people don't know about it? So I need help to reach people so that they can get the resources that I have already researched out for them. And I put it in an order specifically because I know the information can be very, very confusing. So I've simplified it, put it into a program, and it is available for anybody who needs it. And again, for everything that I mentioned today, naturallyhealingautism.com/POP will give you the links to most of the things I spoke about today. And thank you very, very much for coming.